it's great that this group has come together and is talking very deliberately about all the different components of how universities and colleges can address this food shed challenge. Because I think the way that most universities have engaged in this problem is at the kind of very simple trying to buy food level. You know, I hear from a lot of students who want to bring local food into the dining hall. And I think it's admirable and it's great, and we need to get there for sure. But you know, when universities engage other problems, they do it on a really deep, comprehensive level. You know, when universities engage the energy crisis, they don't do it by just changing all the light bulbs to be more efficient. They do deliberate, well thought out research. They develop public policy ideas. They debate the merits of different paths forward. They invest government grant money in careful and thoughtful research. And they're building a continuously growing body of knowledge on the challenge at hand. And that's what we need to be doing with the food system and with local and regional agriculture. And so we've been telling people in our community, if we have another farmers market in our town, it's just going to be further diluting the places that we sell the same amount of local produce. And if we'd like to be able to do that. We'd love to be able to sell more and more and more, but we have, at the moment, finite resources in our town in terms of food, land that's producing food. For every one farmer under 35 in the U.S. right now, there's 6 farmers over 65. So when 5 of those farmers retire and stop doing it, where are those other 5 coming from who are below 35? In the 5 years of the last ag census, the number of operators over 75 years old, the farmers, grew by 20%, and the number of operators under 25 years old decreased by 30%, and 50% of farmers are going to retire in the next decade. So we need to be figuring out ways to be getting young people on the land and to be training them and to be giving them the tools they need to be providing for regional food systems, and to get to the point where we're capable of having a farmer's market in every town and of serving every university's dining hall. The more people you have caring for the land, the better care you're gonna take of it. And so we need to kind of reevaluate what our society thinks of as the role of the farmer. Right now, people think of farmers as seed buyers, chicken feeders, and tractor drivers. And we need it to be more than that. I mean, I do all those things, but I'm also a plant breeder, an ecosystem steward, and an innovator, and an advocate. And so, we need to take farming as seriously as we take any, challenging intellectual pursuit. As John Paul said earlier, it's in terms of being a good farmer, you need to have the same knowledge base in terms of complexity as a physician or anyone else who's doing complex, detail-oriented and creative work. So you all who are students in universities, and you all who are teaching students at universities, we need to be treating our students not just as potential, nonprofit employees or public officials or private sector workers, but as potential farmers. I come across tons of young people who really want to make a strong difference in terms of having a positive effect on the ecosystem, and who want to do good work that's going to have like tangible, good for the world results. And there's more of young people who want to do that than there are jobs at policy think tanks or jobs at nonprofits that can accommodate them. But we need another million new young farmers, and so that's a good place to be putting our efforts. So don't discount the idea that you as a student or that you're a student might want to contribute to bettering the environment by farming. And don't shirk the responsibility that your institution, that your university has to churn out its fair share of farmers. In order to do that, we need to take a close look at how that can be possible. And one real tangible example of how that can be a challenge and of something we need to address is the student loan issue. Because we need our best and our brightest and our best educated to be farming. But farming doesn't pay the salaries that hedge funds pay and that doctors pay. And in other disciplines, you know, when doctors agree to serve the public good by working in underserved areas, or when lawyers dedicate their careers to public service, often we have mechanisms to help forgive their loans because we know that these financial burdens could otherwise prevent them from doing this good but underpaid work. And you know, there's the same value in the work of farming, and so we need people who are just as talented, thoughtful, and bright as those lawyers and doctors. So we need to figure out as a policy challenge and as a university and institutional challenge how we can make that possible.